Hi everyone, welcome back to Encounter Encouragement. Carolyn here. And tonight I want to take you back to when I was a kid, when life was not quite so digital, shall we say. Way back then, we learned that we had to do things manually, shall we say. And I grew up in a big family, as you know, and we didn't have all of the things that other people had. We didn't have the things that we have now. I mean, we had a phone with a very long cord, and I remember when we first, it was a big, big deal when we first got call waiting. We also had long distance phone calls back then. We also had 35 millimeter cameras that you had to go take the film to the store and go and get it developed. And that's kind of what we're going to focus on tonight. The difference between then and now in terms of cameras. Now you have a phone that's a camera. You have a tablet that's a camera. You have the ability to speak FaceTime type thing, face to face, on a computer, on a phone, on a tablet. Back then we didn't even have a computer. But let's get back to those cameras. Back then we had to take a picture, advance the film, take another picture if we didn't think the first one was good. And some people in my family still to this day take 2 pictures automatic because what if somebody closed their eyes? But back then we couldn't tell. We couldn't just take our phone and look at it immediately and see, here, let me zoom in to see if anybody closed their eyes and to see how the picture looks. So now we're going to talk about how life is like that camera from back then and how it's like the camera from now. Either way, you have to focus on the important things in life. When you take a picture, you make a choice on what you're going to take a picture of. And you usually try to get that background just right, and you try to, zoom in on exactly what you're looking at so that you can show the best picture possible going forward. So focus on the important things. Another thing you want to do, both back then and nowadays, is you want to capture the good times. Always make sure that when you have a family gathering or you have something special happen in your life, or you're just outside and the flowers are blooming this time of year, get those pictures. Capture those important moments so that those good times are remembered, because sometimes our memory fades, as you well know. Back then, we had to wait to develop those negatives. Now, what happens if we didn't take very many pictures? It could be months before we could have one whole roll of film ready to develop. By then, we'd forgotten what we'd even put on there. We'd look at the pictures after they were developed from the negative, and we'd say, oh, I remember that moment. That was so fun. Hey guys, look, do you remember? And then we could go back and look. But we had to take what was called a negative, and we'd have to wait for that negative to be turned into a positive. Same thing with life nowadays. Take that negative, turn it into a positive. But now we have the option that we didn't have before. We can now look at the pictures that we take. Our camera can take a picture, and let's say, I'll use this picture. Here I am driving. Well, if I didn't, I'm actually on an on-ramp stopped, by the way, so I'm not really driving, but I'm in the car. And I want that picture of the bluebonnets, but I got my car mirror and the side of the road. So now I can expand and I can change that. Or I can go take another shot and get less of it in there. Still have more of the picture and less of the background. So you can see that right now we have options. Take another picture. You get another shot in life. When you make a mistake, when you do something that you shouldn't have done, or when things don't turn out the way that you expected them to, take another shot. But don't forget to focus on what's important, capture those good times, develop positives out of the negatives, and when you need to, take another shot. It's a great lesson on how our life can change in the click of a button. I hope this has helped somebody to look at life differently today, to see that you can turn things around. You do have an opportunity. You know, as life changes from way back then till it is now, you have the opportunity to make those changes in your life as well. It's not just society that changes or technology that changes. We change too. Take the opportunity to take that extra shot and see what develops. I expect that this will be a blessing to somebody. I pray that it will be. And I expect that maybe you'll leave comments for me to see what you think has been a negative in your life that you have turned into a positive. Tell me about a time that you have taken another shot. I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Until then, be blessed. Thanks, y'all.